Hello and welcome to today's speed build. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us, and if not, then welcome back. So today we are building in the world of Sulani, and I am super excited to be building in this world because the last time I built here I think was my summer camper van that I did, and that was obviously like a way back in summer. I'm sure that I did that in summer, and now like spring is approaching. Actually, I don't know if it's meant to be spring already. I don't know, but either way, it's Valentine's, and I thought that this was the perfect place to build a Valentine's themed build because I feel like when I think about Valentine's and romance, I think of like a nice sunny place, and obviously Sulani is like all beaches and it's beautiful, it's right next to the ocean. So I wanted to create a sort of like Valentine's Day destination location. I don't even know what you would call this. Pretty much when I first had this idea, I wanted to do initially like a drive-in theatre, like a drive-in movies sort of thing, and it sort of is that, but without it being a drive-in. Like there's no cars or anything, but I did try and put cars in this build and I just didn't think it looked right, so it ends up being more of like a bar hangout spot that's like specifically for Valentine's. There's a big TV, which is the TV from the little camper's kit. It's like that big tent one that we got, and it kind of looks like there's like a projector being shown on the sheet, and I used that. And yeah, I thought the idea would be that your Sims they come here, they watch a romance movie with obviously everyone else that wants to watch romance, and they can get a drink, they can get some food at the bar, which is the little area that I'm building right now. And you might have noticed I am building on quite a big lot. I do end up moving it to a smaller lot, but I wanted enough room to work with because I wasn't 100% sure the kind of size that I wanted to end up with. So I thought we'll do it on a big lot and then I can move it and do whatever I like with it. But I really love how this ends up looking, so I hope you guys do too, and I hope everything I just said made sense. I kind of feel like it was a bit rambling but I have not did a voiceover in quite a while now, so that's probably why. Now I do want to address that just a little bit. So my last video was like almost 2 weeks ago. Not quite, but almost. I have had the worst creator block, you guys. Like my creative block has been awful. If I could show you the amount of builds that I have built in the last week that I have just completely scrapped and not liked, you would be so stunned. You would be amazed. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just could not build. And it wasn't until this build that I was like, okay, this was the first build that I was like, I like this. And I liked the direction of it, and I didn't give up with it because I actually thought it was pretty cute. But yeah, just in case, you were thinking that I just didn't want to upload, I have been wanting to upload so much for you guys, and I was really upset that I hadn't. But you guys probably know this because I've spoken about it before, but I will not upload something if I do not like it. So even though I probably could have uploaded something, I just didn't want to upload something that I didn't like. And yeah, that's why you haven't got a video until today. But hopefully you guys do like this one. I think it's super sweet, and I don't know, it just kind of works because I playtested it and it's like so perfect for dates. You could definitely use this, by the way, for like dates, because I set it as a bar because the bar is kind of like the main focus. I know that the main focus is like obviously them sitting in front of the little TV area, but the bar is like the place that I built, and like there's stuff in it. There's seating inside, there's a foosball table, there's also a darts board as well, because I wanted there to be some activities for your Sims to do. So this is kind of like the focal point, I suppose, like the, you know, the bit where your Sims are actually gonna interact with it and function. But yeah, as you can see, we've moved to the smaller lot now, and this is me building the stage. So there ends up being this stage with the TV, and then I have like an audience where I decided to put down rugs and beach towels, and it's the sweetest little thing, and it really feels so beachy and just nice. But yeah, you could take your Sims on dates here, because as it is a bar lot, like a community lot, you could choose it to go on a date. So even like a first date, so you don't necessarily need to use this just for Valentine's. I think that you could use this just to be like super romantic. I think, by the way, in The Sims, it's not called Valentine's. I think it's called Love Day. I think that's right. Like, as I'm saying it, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's like Love Day. And that's pretty much the Sims version of Valentine's. Valentine's, I think, came with, well, Love Day even came with seasons. So Seasons, one of my favorite packs, I use that a lot in this build. It came with a lot of like these cute little objects, and they're like cards with love hearts on them, and there's like little hanging strings with love hearts, and they're so sweet, and they're just so festive, I suppose is the word. They're just amazing. So I did use a lot of Seasons. Just in case you were wondering where any of those objects were from, I haven't placed any yet, but when I get round to it, that is where they're from. So as you can see with the layout, we have got the stage, of course, front and center, and then we have the little bar off to the side. It's a very cute bar. I do decorate the inside as well. And then in front of the stage, we have these 3 little benches, and this is for people who just kind of want to sit. I was thinking that these people probably were wanting like table service. I end up putting little menus on the table. So I think that these people are sort of, they're going out for a meal. They've probably booked this place because there's only 3 tables. So you would probably have like 3 couples at these tables. And I think that like they get booked out every year, and they're the seats that everyone wants. But if you don't manage to get one of those seats, it's not too bad, because you can just lie on the beach. I think that this place looks especially nice at night time with all the lights and stuff. It looks so cute. But beaches are really cold at night time. That may seem a bit random, but like imagine lying on the beach and like it's cold. Like, so I think that's why the benches are probably better. But to be fair, if you're lying on the beach, you're not necessarily wearing a swimming costume. I'd assume if you came here, you would be in like date clothes, and it'd be more like a little like picnic sort of vibe, which I think is so cute. I also did place a tent, and I at one point was like, I'm just gonna fill it up with tents, which I thought would be kind of cute. It was giving me very like festival vibes, you know, like when people bring their tents and they camp out and like for a festival. But I don't know, I thought it was a little bit much for what it was, and when I placed all the tents, I didn't really like it. It looked a little bit overkill. So there's one tent. I feel like these people are just really prepared. They set up. I think you're completely allowed to set up, and that's what they did. And then there's just other little areas where people can just lie on the beach. And then of course the bar. I would reckon this bar is like fully booked out on Valentine's. That's what I was thinking. Like this place is full. It is like the hot spot for Love Day, Valentine's, whatever you want to call it. And I thought that was so sweet. But yeah, I found these 2 towel swatches, and it's like 2 mermaids, but it's like a mermaid and then like a wee merman, and they're so cute. Imagine like 2 Sims sitting on those. Like that's so sweet. And then I did also try to put, as you can see, these like chairs in the crowd, but I didn't really like how they looked. I actually really loved how it looked just like this. So yeah, let me know what you think. Now there was this thing I wanted to do. I wanted to put like footprints on the sand, but the terrain paint like tool, it doesn't actually go small enough for that to be possible. So I was quite sad. I was really wanting to do that detail, but instead I just used a different sand swatch that we have in the terrain tool bit, and I used the darker one to go kind of under the stage and under the rocks and the tills to give it a little bit more depth, because the sand in Solani is very, very bright, so I wanted to use a little bit more of an orange tone for those areas. But yeah, I don't know, this build is just, it's very different from anything I've built. I think it's like very different, but as I was saying earlier with the creative block, I actually built a different version of this, and it was a drive-through version, and I didn't like it. Which is why I've not uploaded it. But I built it in Copperdale, and the problem with it was I built it on a lot that was like too small, and I didn't build anything outside, like a bar or anything like that. I didn't build anything, so it just looked like a field with a TV and some cars, and it just didn't work. But yeah, I feel like it's fun to look at my builds that I didn't like and go, I can see where I went wrong. But I think that's a very important thing. In fact, I'm gonna give you a bit of advice. If you ever are like me and you have that kind of block, building does help. And I know that might sound contradictory, but when I built the other like driving thing that I didn't like, that is when I made this, and I was like, okay, I know what I don't like, so now I know what I do like. And that's the only reason I was able to build this one and really like how it looked. So I think if you build something and you hate it, then you at least know, okay, I'm not gonna do that next time. I'm gonna do this. I don't know. I feel like that makes sense. That's like good advice. But yeah, I don't know. I think burnout is pretty common. I don't even know if I would call it burnout. I think it's genuinely just, I had that block of like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, I'm hoping that I'm gonna be a lot more consistent now, after kind of getting over that. But I really hope you guys like this build. I did playtest it, as I was saying. It does work really, really nicely. Your Sims don't seem to like overcrowd the area. That's something that I always get a wee bit scared with on community lots, and I usually try and make my community lots quite big so that there's enough room and your Sims aren't gonna like have that problem. But this obviously is a little bit of a smaller one, so I was a little bit scared, but I think it worked really nicely. I didn't have any problems with my Sims like getting in the way and stuff like that, so hopefully, fingers crossed, neither do you. But this build will be on my gallery, so yeah, feel free to download it if you do like. But yeah, we're doing the inside now, and I really love the inside. Now, I wanted to use lots of reds and pinks and stuff because obviously Valentine's, those are the colours I associate with it. So I used a lot of those, and then I also kept a lot of the wood tones, so the brown and the beige wood tones that I was using before. And then yeah, just kind of put in little pops of colour that I thought was pretty sweet. So for the bottom, I did sort of not a waiting area, but like a little area that your Sims can just sit and chill out. I ended up putting a little table in front of those two sofas, and I put these little presents on it and cards, and I was thinking that two Sims, like a couple, had maybe sat here and exchange gifts and like cards, and it was just really sweet. It looks really nice. It looks like a little scene, so I thought that was nice. And also I just thought maybe your Sims would sit here if they don't want to like sit upstairs for a drink. I don't know. It's just like a little chill area. This is probably where I would sit because it's just comfy looking. But this is the little bar which you would order from. There's also on the top floor, there's like this little pink table, and we got it from high school years, and it's got a fountain on top, and that actually counts as a bar because your Sims can get like punch from it. I think alcoholic. I think. It should be because it counts as a bar. But your Sims can use that instead. So if you don't want your Sim to like walk downstairs and get a drink, I'm sure that they can use that little one outside and just like get punch from it. So I thought that was really good. I didn't even think about it at first, and then I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I made it very romantic on this bottom floor, as you can probably tell. This is kind of like the chill, relaxed floor, and then upstairs is pretty much just a bunch of like bar stools and stuff, but then we have 2 foosball tables and a darts board. I don't know about you guys, but me and my boyfriend love to play like pubby games like that, and he always beats me, but you know, the thought is there. It's just like a fun thing, and also it means that if you do use this lot, your Sims aren't gonna get super bored just like watching TV and drinking. They can also actually do some fun activities, and I feel like you could meet a lot of Sims here. I don't know, maybe you can meet some couples. I mean, I know it doesn't really work like that because the other Sims don't know that this is like for couples, but you know what I mean. A bit of imagination, but yeah, that is pretty much it for today's video. Now, I do just want to say I recently became part of the YouTube Partner Program, and because of that, you're now able to join memberships. And pretty much these just give you different tiers that allow you to access pretty much like extra things from me. You can go have a look at it if you are interested. I would really appreciate it. But thank you all so much for like getting me far enough to even be part of that. It's absolutely insane and I cannot get over it. But thank you all so much, and thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!